Hello, welcome to Go Get That Rose. I am your host, Sarah. With me, as always, is my co-host, J Wade.
I am here. I'm here.
I don't know why I was singing.
Forgive my slightly raspy voice, if you can notice, but I'm on the upswing, I think. So, feeling a lot better this week. How you feeling this week? I know we were both under the weather last week, pretty bad.
I started out Monday like really sick. Like literally woke up. My husband woke up at 4:30 Monday morning, and I also woke up throwing up. Which comes to find out, it was food poisoning. I'm fine. Everything else is fine. But so I started out Monday really, really not doing well. But I'm fine now. So
hell yeah. Real quick before we get into this, this whole season. Excuse me, I've been referring to Bennett as American Psycho because I've said that he reminds me of Christian Bale's character in the movie American Psycho. And I've been hounding you all season to watch that movie so that you would understand what I think about when I see his face and I hear him speak. You watched American Psycho today, so now that you've seen the movie, you understand?
I watched 15 minutes. I got distracted. I'm gonna finish it because I'm really intrigued. But I can't. Okay, this is a whole different kind of podcast, but I just cannot sit and focus. I don't know what's happening. I set a goal for myself to watch 150 movies this year, and I just have to watch 14, and I cannot sit down to watch these 14 movies. So hopefully I watch this, I'll finish it. But in those 15 minutes, the moment Christian Bale started talking, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and the whole is morning
routine. Yes, the morning routine. I was like, oh, he definitely just copied this. Like, he's talking about, like, he gets a shower and he puts a face mask on and he uses a serum. And then I was like, Bennett.
Yep, just wait till you get further in. You'll get to the business card scene and then you'll
I saw that. I got to that.
Okay, that was another little,
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Yeah,
when he has that line in the business card scene and he's like, and this does have to do with Bennett because, again, it reminds me of him completely. But this was a line that stood out to me when he's like talking about the other guy that works in his department that he's always confused as being. And he's like, and we go to the same barber, although my hair is slightly better. And I'm like, see, that's it right there. Bennett, dude, like everything he does is just slightly better than everyone else.
Yeah. Now I just want to know if that's really based off of he like watched that movie and that's his inspiration, or if that's just how these people really are. Like, I really wild.
I don't know, but that goes to that's my point though, as far as like you don't know these people after 30 days. What if you pick somebody, you go home with them, it turns out there's some sort of insane murderer. You never know.
Yeah, it was kind of. I'll finish the movie, I promise. Right. But even within, like, as soon as Christian Bale started talking, I was like, oh my God. Like, the voice, the cadence, like, everything is the same. Like, crazy.
American Psycho.
Yeah, so let's jump into it. We'll talk about him soon enough. Let's jump into it. We have 2 episodes this week. Starting Monday night. The first episode will probably kind of through. Monday night, we started out with Blake's one-on-one date. Surprise, surprise, he got sent home.
Yeah. That guy, man, he just, I don't know.
I didn't really okay, so they do this. Oh, I froze again. What the heck?
Yep, there you go.
I need to stop using. I'm so sorry.
Just keep talking. It's all right.
Anyway, just keep swimming. Okay, so they always do these kind of dates where it's like a last-ditch effort if it's not going well for a contestant or they haven't really interacted before or whatever, where they do these like connecting with your soul, which she said she was a Reiki and a crystal master. Hey, okay. Crystal Reiki master or whatever, which I remember that when I was a freshman in high school, I did the play Bye Bye Birdie. And for some reason, the director had someone that was like a Ricky enthusiast professional, I don't know, come and like do that for like the performers. I just thought that was interesting. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm not into all that fake magic stuff, so.
I wasn't going to say all that, but yeah. I remember she did it for me.
I dig the real magic stuff. It's just not that fake magic stuff.
She like did her Ricky thing on me because I was like, yeah, sure. And yeah, she doesn't touch you. They don't touch you, but they're just like your energy, which I was like, okay. Right. And I remember she left the room and I was like, I don't know what was supposed to happen. But anyway, that was their date. Blake was like, oh, it's a great start for us. And
yeah,
when they were like,
shut him down fast.
They were looking at each other. And I was like, this is so odd. Like, she's so uncomfortable when she's like sitting on his lap. I'm like, she's so uncomfortable. He looks like he's just zoned out like the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else about Blake?
Yeah, she did not look. Yeah, she was not into that whatsoever. But I don't understand how you made it that far, to be honest.
Cried like the hardest cry I've ever seen from her, like on the ground.
Yeah.
Amen.
Kaylin here says, thank little baby Jesus that Blake went home. Yes.
Like, I was very confused why she was like, I'm sorry. I think Tayshia just doesn't want to hurt people's feelings. And I think she knew.
Which is admirable.
Yeah.
But still.
I think him and Riley, I think she knew for a long time that she really wasn't that into them like that. But I think she must have realized in that moment, like, how into her they were. So I think she was probably like, crap, I'm going to end up hurting them more than I thought I was. I don't know.
Which kudos to her. She's doing the right thing, you know. At first, I didn't see it that way. But then after you had your say, when she sent home Riley, then I was, okay, yeah, she did the right thing. Because, you know, it would, you know, yeah. The terrible thing would be to keep them around knowing that they're really falling for her and she's not into them. So
yeah, like what she did for Riley right after that, how she went. And I'm confused. It's
like putting down a lame horse. You know, you're doing it a favor. You're just being nice.
Well, she went into the room and started crying in front of all the men, which like I get, but it was a little weird. Because she was like, I just told Blake to go home or whatever, and is literally like sobbing. I think she was still processing all of that, and then stops and looks at Riley and was like, Riley, can we go talk? And Riley's face cracked me up. He was, you could tell he knew. He was like, okay, this is it. This is the end. And some of the guys were like, we don't know. Like, he might be getting a rose early. Like, we don't know what's going on. I'm like, yes, you do.
Obviously, he was getting the axe.
Yeah. They're like, we just don't know. I'm like, you're dumb if you don't know what's happening. And then she sent Riley home, which again was, with that then, why didn't she do the same thing for Noah and for Bennett? Because she probably didn't really care about them as much, or didn't feel like she had a strong connection.
Right. Well, I still don't understand why she let Bennett come back for the rose ceremony. That honestly, was absolutely ridiculous.
I feel like that's a little bit of producer. Like, I feel like the producers were like, hey, you should invite him back so we can get, because she even said before, like, it didn't feel right sending him home before a rose ceremony. Like, I think she always planned. She didn't say it like that.
What does it matter if they're going home? They're going home. Why does it matter if it's before, after, or in the middle of a rose ceremony?
I really think that was for the TV show. Was for the like, oh, we want to see them get sent home together. Like, I think that was probably to fuel the rivalry a little bit more.
You're probably right.
Which I don't think she. Like, I really think she wrote that note. I'm not saying like production, like wrote the note and stuck it in there. But I think it was probably like, hey, give us Bennett. You're going to send him home anyway. Like, let's get this for the show. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, she sends Riley home and he started to get a little snippy with her, which I understand. And then you could tell like he kind of like calmed down a little because he was like, why'd you keep me for so long? And she started to get emotional, and then he was like, no, it's okay. Like, I really appreciate it. You really helped me. I kind of turned on Riley, I think. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about these guys.
I just think it's weak to like be like, this is how I feel, you know, I don't understand, and I'm hurt, and then she starts crying, then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, you're right. I just think that's weak as shit, dude. You know, you're compromising and dismissing your feelings that you were trying to express to this person because she starts crying like she's hurt. Dude, she's got 4 or 5 more guys to pick from. What the fuck is she so damn sad about? You know what I mean? What is he? I just don't get it, dude. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Whatever. So it just don't make no sense to me. What is she standing there crying for, trying to make him feel bad because he's expressing his feelings to her as if his feelings aren't
felt bad. I also think she's just tired and crying.
Hey man, she signed up for the game.
You're right. I also just think she's crying, tired, which I get. Know. I cry when I'm tired all the time.
Cry like this?
Huh?
Do the men cry like this, like The Bachelor?
Yes. Yeah. There's usually around this point, each Bachelor and Bachelorette have one like major breakdown. And I think this was Tayshia's, where they come in and confront the people and be like, this is really hard. It's like set up for that. Like that is a trope. Like Nick did on his, Ben did it, Chris, like every Bachelor does it too. They come in and they're like, I don't know if this is going to work at the end. And then they cry, which is big. And the one Bachelor, Nick, talks about all the time. He's like, I was exhausted. He said, I wasn't going to quit the show, but I was exhausted. And they like, why don't you go express your feelings to the girls? Like, it's all produced. So I'm sure, like, her showing up and crying in front of the guys was like, why don't you go tell the guys how you're feeling? And I'm sure she's tired and it's hot. But yeah, anyway, that was a little off. Anything about that?
No, just other than I don't care who you are. It's not a gender thing. I don't care who you are. If you're telling someone, if someone has made you feel a certain way and you are expressing those feelings and it's not in a rude, hateful, harsh way, then you know, the person
he has a right to be upset.
Listen and not try to turn the tables back on them. I just don't like that. Like, you made me feel bad because I made you feel bad. So now I'm going to make you feel even worse because you just made me feel bad. And then hopefully you'll just forget about it. And it's like, no, that's not how it works.
I would say I don't think that's what she was doing, but I honestly don't remember. So she might have been doing that.
She might not have been. Whatever.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm so tired. Okay, let's move on to the men tell all. Also, Kaylin said that she cries when she's mad, sad, frustrated, angry, hurt, hungry, mildly inconvenienced. I completely agree. I cry all the time.
That wasn't all.
And PMSing.
She said more than that.
And PMSing.
She said more PMSing. What is that? What does PMS stand for? I don't understand.
Okay, moving on. The men tell all. I cry all the time when I'm really tired, and my husband will look at me and be like, you need to go take a nap. And I'm like, I'm fine. So I get it, Tayshia. Okay, men tell all. Did you watch any of it?
I ended up skimming through. I watched the Yosef part, and I watched like the 30-second part with Bennett, which gave us nothing new whatsoever. But I did watch the Yosef part. Because I knew you were hot about that, so I wanted to watch it.
I'm so tired to be hot about it, but we'll get to it. Okay, the men tell all is usually or any women men tell all is my like least favorite part of the show, just because I find it so boring. And you don't really find out anything new, and they're just bringing up old feuds. Like, I just don't care.
It's just gossip. It's just
it's so annoying, and it's for people to give their audition to go to Paradise. Like, that's basically what it is. Because normally you'll get like random ass people that got sent home the first night that show up and start interjection because they want to go on Paradise. Like, it's really annoying. They didn't have that. It was a little different. I liked this setup a little bit. I think I messaged you and said this was like the worst tell-all I've seen because I was just annoyed. And I think the more I think about it, the more I'm just annoyed with it. I tweeted out on my personal account, got the most likes, like 26 likes I've ever had. I was like, which I guess that's pretty sad, but for me, that's good. I was like, okay, my thoughts on the men tell all. Where the heck was Chasen, Spencer, someone else? I don't remember. Easy. And where was Joe? Where was Joe? Justice for Joe.
Who's Joe again? Is it Smoke? Is that Smokey?
No, that's
Chasen.
Joe. Joe is the Asian, the hot one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The one that you like, that was all glistening with oil from the fighting match.
He was really nice, and he's a doctor. He's probably out fighting Corona. But okay, so they had 8 men, 9, but 8 men. They were facing each other, which I kind of liked. But then they had them like paired up. Like I felt like it was like, this is Noah's side and this is Bennett's side, except for Riley. And then they had them spaced out, which some people said it was probably because of distancing, why they only had 8 men. But Bennett was sitting literally right next to Riley. Like you could tell like they were supposed to be on one end and one on the other. But Bennett was like here and Riley was here. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, so we had Ed, Kenny, don't know why Kenny was there. DeMar, Blake, Noah, Riley, Brendan, and then Jason, which I would have been okay with Jason being there if he said anything. There was no reason for this man to be there at all. And I get like DeMar, Ed, and kind of Kenny because they were kind of the more recent people to be kicked off. But like, why was Jason there? It made no sense to me. And especially if they talk about the Chasen and Ed drama, Smokey and Ed drama. But Chasen wasn't there to defend himself, which I thought was rude of them. Because Ed was just like, he's a fake. What did he say? He's a fraud, fake, and he's a phony, but it's spelled with a PH, and he's too stupid to realize that.
Oh my God.
That was rehearsed. But I loved it. But again, he wasn't there to defend himself, which I thought was a low blow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the Bennett Noah. Oh, Bennett. Oh God. I'm over him. I'm just over it. I'm so over it because Noah was like, Ed said, did you even read the book?
Stash hole. Let's keep Stash Hole in American Psycho.
What did we call Ed?
I can't remember.
Man-child. I don't know. He was like, did you read the book? And Stash Hole, who I actually really like Noah, by the way. I like Noah. I don't think he did anything wrong. He was a little aggressive.
That's cool. I ain't judging, man. I ain't judging, at least not out loud.
I don't understand why all the men, like, none of them could give, like, back up their support. Like, they just kept saying, like, no, I did this, this, and that. You were a terrible person. And I'm like, give me receipts. Like, what did he do? What did he do? And Noah was like, yeah, I read the book. I'm upset. Or clearly you didn't, Bennett. You read it 4 times and none of it stuck or something. And Bennett goes, oh my God. I was like, what is happening? Like, this man shows up wearing a purple scarf. Like, okay, maybe I do love him. I was just like,
oh my gosh.
No, I'm kidding. I was over it. I was so over the drama.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It is. It's like junior high cafeteria sitting at the lunch table and just I don't know. It's silly. Come on, be grown-ups, guys. Come on.
They were all like ganging up on Noah, which I'm like, you're all like, Ed was there. He is
the one who started all that shit there at the end.
Yeah, but he did one thing.
He was the one who started all of that crap.
One thing. I guess, whatever. It's a show. It's fun. But Bennett was like constantly berating him. And he even said like, oh, you're the only one that thinks I'm condescending or something like that. He's like, if anyone else feels that way, why don't they tell me? And then Blake was like, I think you're kind of condescending sometimes, like not towards me, but I've seen it. And he's like, no. And Damar was like, yeah, you're a little condescending. He's like, no.
See, Noah's the type of guy who would be at the bar with his girlfriend and he leaves her at the table, goes up to the bar to get them a couple drinks. While he's at the bar, some guy, says something shitty to him. He goes back to the table and he sits down with his girlfriend and is like, baby, that guy was really mean to me, man. He was talking shit.
I don't think so. I think that's a Bennett. I think that's Bennett.
No, that's a stash hole.
No, I think
that's a stash hole move because that's what started all that was him running to Tayshia like, oh, Bennett's being mean to me.
But he was running to Tayshia to try and get Tayshia on his side. Like he was playing the game.
Like I said, okay, cool. So I like him. Okay. I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever. I'm over it. They're both gone. It's fine.
Yeah, thank God, dude. Thank God.
Bye. See y'all in paradise.
And he was growing his stupid stash back.
Oh, I think it looked good because he had the full. He had the beard with it, not just a little. Okay, it's his time. All right, the last thing I really care to talk about for this tell-all. I mean, Tayshia shows up at the end and talks to the men, which whatever, it was fine. Do you have anything to say about that before I go on my rant?
No, I couldn't care less.
Okay, I don't even think you watched. So
I literally only watched Yosef and that little like 1 minute with Bennett. That was it. All
right. Okay, so I have an issue with ABC asking Yosef to come back on the Men Tell All. One, because they barely talked about Claire at all. Like the only time they talked about Claire was when they brought Yosef back, which I get it. I guess, I don't know. I kind of feel like they did Claire real dirty. That's a whole nother thing, but I really feel like it was like, here, Claire, we're not going to edit you the best. And now it's Tayshia. And
well, to be fair, she wasn't playing the game fair either. So.
She wasn't. Yes. Yes.
So that's why that was a two-way street.
Yes. Yeah. But she wasn't there to defend herself. And I just don't think it was right of ABC to bring this guy back on. I guess they were trying to do it. We got heated about this. They were trying to do it under the guise of, oh, we're letting Yosef come on and give him a chance to redeem himself. That's bullshit. Give him a chance to come on and redeem himself. No, they wanted the views. They wanted the drama. Like, not stupid. Okay, yeah. So they re-show most of it. I'm pretty sure, like, most of the clip again. It just got me heated once again. And then Yosef is sitting there and is like, yep, and I'd do it again. Like, no remorse. And, I mean, like, okay, I guess that's... I'm not getting as heated as I did earlier in my head. You are free to say whatever you want, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I hate Yosef. I think he's a terrible human being. I think he's a terrible person, and ABC should have never let him come back on this show. I don't understand what they were doing. He sat there and literally smiled the entire time he was talking to Claire. It was so inappropriate. What he was saying to her, I don't know how heated I got the first time, but what he was saying to Claire was not okay. It's never okay to talk to someone that way. I don't care if you're a man or a female. It's not okay to say those things to her. And we talked about it before. Like, if he would have said it a little different, that's fine. He's sharing his opinion. But the fact that he just started going in on her character and was like, you're classless. I don't want you to be the mother of my child. I'm disgusted to be associated with you. It's like, dude. And then, like, he kept cutting her off, wouldn't give her a chance to speak, was talking down to her, was belittling her. And the thing that pisses me off is when she started to get upset, he starts going like this and putting up his hands trying to play victim, which really pisses me off because then he can turn around and be like, oh, yo, that bitch crazy. She coming at me. Like, you didn't just effing gaslight her the whole time? Like, are you kidding me? So then he's sitting there and he's like smiling and he's like, yeah, I have nothing to apologize for. I'm doing it for all those men. Like, he wasn't even on the date. And he's like, I'm doing it for all those men. I feel so bad for those men. And 3 of them were like, yo, we were on that date. None of us feel bad. Like, none of us are upset about it. Like, stop claiming that you're trying to do this for us. Like, just own up to it. I truly think at that point, I think once he met Claire, he realized, like, this isn't going to work. Like, I just don't like her or whatever. And he decided, like, I'm going to try and get famous as I can get. So that's why he freaked out and kept going and kept going. And then the part that really pissed me off in the tell-all is when he someone said, how would you feel if someone talked to your daughter that way? And he was like, oh, if my daughter acted that way, I hope someone will call him out the way I called her out.
Well, no, he said, I wish someone would be honest with her. Basically the same thing, but
basically the same thing. I was like,
yeah, that guy.
I just think I can't bring up the energy. Like, I was literally like rehearsing this in my head earlier and I was just getting so heated and I just can't do it anymore. But yeah. F you, Yosef. Don't ever come back on my screen. That's how I feel. Don't ABC, I don't want to see him in Paradise. And we've had other villains. Like, I just think he's one of the worst people to ever be on this show because he's not remorseful at all. And like, he's not the first person to do this. There was a man named Ian, I think I said this before, who was on Caitlyn's season and basically called her out for the same shit. And then on the Men Tell All, he came back and he was like, look, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It's so inappropriate, whatever. That's fine. And all is forgiven, I guess. I don't know. I still think he was an asshole. But this time, Yosef is just like not remorseful, doesn't care. And for that, I'm just like, okay, bye. See you later. Never again. Peace out.
Fair enough.
All right.
I like Yosef. He's my boy. I would love to have a beer with him. I'm just kidding. No, I agree that like the way he carried himself and all that, complete piece of shit. It was unnecessary. He was extremely rude and insulting on personal levels to her. Okay. But like you said, which is something I've told you before, he could have expressed the feelings that he had and the concerns that he had in a very respectful and civil way. And that could have actually led to a very constructive and positive conversation and moment for them that could have been fruitful for the future. You know, it could have been a really productive thing. But you know, as far as, because
but that was not his intention.
Really wrong what he's saying. You know, it could, because he was kind of telling her, I think that, you know, you doing that was a bad person, kind of like you're not a good person kind of a thing. But there's a way that you can express the concern and not make it a statement like that and be like, you know, this happened and I don't know you well. And that's what all of this process is for. And I'm sure you have concerns with all of us, just like I have concerns with you. And this is one of them. And I just want to let you know how I feel and maybe we can talk about it. Now, that would be the proper way to approach that. Because, you know, if he really did feel that way, that like he thought it was shameful and disrespectful and everything, then that's fine that he feels that way. That's absolutely fine. I can understand that. But the way in which he went about expressing those feelings and the way he tore her down and belittled her was absolutely wrong. Yeah, that dude's an asshole.
Yeah, he didn't have the intentions of being constructive or really caring. No. Like, he didn't care like how she felt or like that. Like, he just didn't care. And I think that was the thing. I think in his mind he was like, okay, I'm gonna leave. And he just seems like the type of person that's like, I'm gonna leave. I'm going to make myself look great while I'm doing it. So
he failed at that.
Yeah, he did. That's all I feel like saying about that. Bye, Yosef. Never want to see you again. Never want to talk about you again. All right. We'll be right back after this break. Listen to a couple promos for other shows you can find on this network. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Sean and Wade are back, and we're here to tell you about the next season of our Mandalorian show, Hey Mando. That's right, this year, we have a name.
Hell yeah, dude, Boba Fett Season 2!
Wade, please.
Dude, what? I can't wait to watch the continuing adventures of Boba Fett and Baby Yoda.
The Mandalorian. Not Boba Fett. It's not Boba Fett, and it's not Baby Yoda. It's the child.
Yeah, Boba Fett and Baby Yoda.
You know what? Whatever. Join us every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern live on the Merc with the Movie Blog YouTube channel, or catch the podcast version on the Merc with the Movie Blog podcast feed as we cover every episode of The Mandalorian Season 2.
Hey, Jay Wade here to tell you about SEN After Live, our SEN Live After Show, where we talk about, well, whatever Christian, Brett, and the rest of the crew talk about and the insanity that ensues. So join us each week here on the Merc with the Movie Blog feed on your podcasting platforms, as well as YouTube now on the SEN After Live channel. Talk to you then.
All right, make sure you go and check out those shows. You can find them on Merc with the Movie Blog feed, where you can find this show. Going great.
Hey,
going
everybody, welcome to Go Get the Rose. This is Drunk Sarah.
How rude.
And you can find this show on merc.com.
That's
We're
not
not talking about but on the podcasting things. Hold on, I have it written down here, so where's my wine?
Wow, I'm offended.
Sorry.
This is our last show. Canceled.
No!
I need to find a new co-host. Just kidding. All right, let's jump into last night's episode, The Hometowns. What did you think about this episode? Did you watch this episode? That's my question. Yes. I don't think you watched this episode.
No, I did. I watched. Dude, Sarah, come on.
Did.
Dude, I am devoted to this show. I love doing this show right here. I love doing this show with you. Yes, so I'm not going to slack on this show. Yes, I watched The Hometown.
Okay, who went first?
The dude, Zach.
No,
not Zach. Kaylin knows because I got their names wrong in the Discord. Back me up, Kaylin. The other dude,
what was their date? What did they do? This is really interesting, isn't it? No, he didn't watch it.
No, I watched it. Where was he from? Oh, no. His brother and sister-in-law and his niece were there. He's from a small town, and they had the carnival. The carnival
okay, you
thing.
did watch it. Okay.
Yes, and then was Zach. And then was Zach. Dude, I watched it.
Yeah.
I may be old and shit, but like I you know.
I mean, I normally hate the hometown dates. I just find them so boring and annoying.
Just so I have that validation on screen.
Because we were texting. Thanks. He kind of looks like a Zach. The thing said he thinks Brendan is Zach. Yeah. Okay, so hometowns looked a little different. I kind of liked this hometowns.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. I like that they didn't go to random people's houses. Like, I feel like they were all on the same playing field, level. I don't know. It was kind of cool. I like that the men got to like plan their own date on the property. Made them be creative. Yeah, it was cool. So Chris Harrison came in and was like telling them like who's each person like showed up for them and was like, your mom's coming, your mom and dad's coming. I thought that was kind of weird, but I was like, okay, I get it. And then I guess like the first big thing was Ben said like he doesn't cry or he hasn't cried in a long time or something. And Zach like looked at him and was like, what? Which I'm like, okay. Which will come into things later. But okay. The first one was Brendan, not Zach, Brendan. I think Brendan's gonna win. I think that's her choice. She was so, I was saying to myself the whole time, I was like, oh my God, she's so in love with him. Like, she was so giddy with him, more giddy than she is with anyone else. they're just super cute together, and they have something that she doesn't have with the other guys. And she even said at the end, like, I think this is it, like, or some, not this is it, like, this is going to be tough to beat, or he's the one to beat, or excuse me, I don't know. Yeah, I think he's the one for her.
Well, I've noticed something in the short time I've been watching the Bachelor shows is when it's down to these guys, like these last 4 here and whatnot. The way the one that she's definitely the one that she's into is the one that she runs up to and jumps on and wraps her legs around. That's the one that she likes.
Well, she did that for 3 of them.
Exactly my point. It's so stupid. That has to be a production thing. It has to be. Every single girl in the history of every episode of every show, season, whatever that I've seen, they all do that, and it is so stupid. And it's not. Dude, girls do not I'm not speaking for women here, but I'm speaking for women. Girls do not do that. That is not real.
I don't know. It's real on the show, though.
Have you ever once done that to any guy?
No, and I keep telling my husband I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to run up.
You keep telling him you're going to, and you don't.
Even when I went to my husband's military boot camp graduation, after not seeing or talking to him for 3 months, I did not run and jump into his arms like that. So
exactly, and she just saw these guys the day before.
I mean, I wanted to, but I don't know how that would have worked. Anyway, so, okay, going into this episode, this is all over the place. Going into this episode, I really thought Ivan was going home. I really thought Ivan was done, and I thought Ben would go home next episode. I still think the final 2 is going to be Brendan and Zach. And even throughout this whole episode, I was like, she didn't jump and hug Ivan. And they just kept setting up Ivan being like, oh, next week, like that next week. And his mom even saying like, well, you have to get through this week to get to next week. Like they kept setting it up. So I'm like, oh, he's going home. Then he got called first. And I was like, what is happening? Like I'm so confused.
So after Ben's date, you didn't realize what was going to happen. You still were wondering at the rose ceremony, because I knew. After all of the dates, I knew who was going home.
I kind of was like, okay, going into this episode, I'm like, it's either going to be Ivan or Ben. If it's not Ivan, it's Ben. If it's not Ben, it's Ivan. Maybe I didn't realize how bad Ben's date was until now, listening to all the different recaps, and people were like, about his date. We'll talk about him. But no, not until Ivan got called. I was like, it's going to be Ben. But I kind of thought, oh, maybe it's going to be Brendan, because I did not see her sending Ben home. Like, I just really thought she liked Ben. I don't know.
Do you think? I think she did too. But do you think if he would have told her that he was falling in love with her, do you think that would? I think that's what did it. I think. Because that conversation with them on that bench was very awkward, and it felt like
so awkward.
It felt like she was pulling teeth.
I'm so conflicted about. Let's just jump right into it. We don't recap in order. Let's jump into it. I'm so conflicted about that conversation, because at first, when they're sitting on the bench, he is just not giving anything. And she wasn't as emotional as I thought. Like, seeing how emotional she was with Riley and Blake, I was like, oh God, her final 4, she's going to be like crying up a storm. And she wasn't really emotional at all. And she kept saying, like, when Ben actually finally left, she said, like, it's disappointing because I wanted him, like, he didn't give me anything. Like, he didn't react at all. And I keep trying to pull these emotions out of him, and I'm just not getting enough. And at first, I was a little ticked off that she said that, because I was like, he's shown this whole process that he's emotionally unavailable, like, and that he has issues with emotion. And the fact that he even said it in this episode, I'm getting weirdly emotional. And she said, stop. Like, she kind of was like, stop saying that. Like, it's okay. And now she's upset because he's not being emotional and not being. I was kind of like, girl, like, sister, like, what are you doing? But like, I felt like that wasn't fair of her to say that because he's been like that the whole time and he has kind of opened up. But after listening to other people's take on it, I get it. I get why she's upset because I feel like she seems and kind of feels like maybe she was giving more into the relationship than he was. Like, because the one podcast I was listening to was kind of saying that they felt like she was always trying to pull information out of him. And maybe just the way it was edited, we didn't see it as much. But I definitely do kind of feel like it was set up that way where she was constantly like, tell me. We did see it. Like, she was always trying to pull stuff out of him, which can just be exhausting after a while. And one of the points that I brought up was that, like, he never talked about his parents. His parents weren't there, which is fine. It was his sister and a close family friend. But even when she said, like, what about your parents? He was like, oh, they're not coming because of COVID. Or when she would bring up his parents before, like last week, I think, he was like, oh, I'm really close to my sister. Like, there's just something else going on that he didn't really seem to bring up, which, I mean, is fine. We've talked about before. You don't have to share everything, but it just felt like he's very just kind of closed off. And I feel like maybe she got to the point where she's like, I'm not going to keep trying and keep digging and pulling all this stuff out if he's just not going to meet me. I mean, it's an accelerated process. You know what I mean? Like, you can only go so far. And if she feels like these 3 other men are kind of where she needs them to be to get engaged to them, and Ben wasn't, like, then yeah, Ben needs to go home. Like, because she keeps saying, like, you're not going to get engaged to this man. We said it before. Like, we don't think Ben was ready to get engaged. I don't think Ben was ready to get this far. Like, I don't think. And I think maybe she kind of realized that, like, he can't even, like, open up. Or right now, like, he's not showing. Because I think they did make some process. I feel like they did make process a little bit with him opening and being a little bit more emotional. But then as soon as he got sent home, he just completely shut down. Yeah. So that was my rant.
Well,
sorry.
And also after their date when they parted ways, very, very awkward when he like pulled her back to give her a kiss and a hug, and she clearly was not interested. She was not in that state of mind at the time. That was another clue for me that was like, well, he's done. But yeah, when he got sent home, he was just like shut down totally.
Yeah, quickly too. Like, instantly. Yeah, he walks in.
I understand what he's saying and how he felt as far as the whole, like, when those situations are really hard, especially if you are invested and you have any hurt feelings. I understand where he was coming from as far as, what do you want me to say? Like, you've made your decision. It's over. We're not, like, if I tell you, like, there's nothing I can say that will make you change your mind. So what is the point? I just want to fucking go right now because I don't feel well. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so I understand. I've done that too, and I've used those words where it's like, a girl, like, what do you think? And talk to me. And I'm just like, dude, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the fuck I say. So why say anything? Why waste any more time? Let's just get on with it. So
that happens a lot on this show too, where like the lead will be like, talk to me, like, what's going on? And the person's like, it doesn't matter. Like, why am I going to talk to you? Like, you made the decision. I think there's a moment where it switches into the person like switches into like protection mode over themselves, where it's like, oh, I've been made a fool this whole time. I'm not going to do it. Excuse me. I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's hard to be vulnerable. Like, it's hard to put yourself out like that. And especially if you're kind of being shut down, you just instantly are like, okay, well, I'm just going to cut myself off now so I don't get hurt and don't be made to look stupid. Or stupid. You know what I mean? So that it happens every season where it's that one. It just was really, it felt really awkward this time though. Like, it just felt Like it happened. Like he was like, I'm okay. Like I'll be okay.
Do you think he'll be on Bachelor in Paradise?
Oh yeah, people love him. Like love him, which I don't get. Like I see girls on everything are like freaking out over him, and I'm like, he is not mentally stable.
It's because those girls are they're superficial, man. It's because they're like, he's hot, he's so good looking, and it's like, okay, yeah, go get yourself that good looking man, and then he'll turn out to be a complete piece of shit. And I mean, and that's been one, and like from the start of this, Sarah, that's been one of my beefs about this show is that, you know, they pick all these pretty perfect people to be on this show and play this game. And you know, yeah, it's dramatic and all that, but I mean, in over the years, we've talked about this too. They're becoming more inclusive. We got our first Bachelor, Black Bachelor coming up here. June 4th, I believe, is the premiere. January, sorry. And really looking forward to that. But and it's great that they're being inclusive like that. But to you producers, they're at The Bachelor. You need to be even more inclusive.
Yeah.
You need to have real people on there, regular, average people, not these pretty prepped up people who meet these standards and expectations that everyone wants to reach, but they never will. Okay, except for this small pocket of people. You want some real people on there, and that's why we need to get hashtag J Wade for Bachelor going, because fat guys deserve love too. So let's get that going, guys, and let's get some real people. Let's get some real people on that show. Yes, thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Let's get that going. Hashtag J Wade for Bachelor.
J Wade for Bachelor. That was a great segue. I didn't see where you were going for a minute. I was like, that's well
I'm good.
done.
See,
well
that's why they should have me on the show. I'm good,
right.
Man. I'll take no shit. I guarantee you, I will send at least one girl home immediately upon meeting her. So you want drama?
She gets out of the limo and you're like, this isn't going to work.
You want reality TV? You want real stuff, man? Yeah. I guarantee you put me on that show, I will boot at least one chick every 10 minutes as soon as I meet her, because I will know that quick. Nope. Don't want nothing to do with this broad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Let's talk about the rest of the hometowns. Well, Ben went home, whatever. We just kind of jumped all over the place. Let's finish up talking about Ben. Ben's hometown was his sister and this close family friend who apparently is a top chef. Like, wow. She competed on the show Top Chef. So she was like a finalist or whatever. Because people were like, "Oh my gosh, she's famous." I was like, "Oh."
Cool. I thought she kind of looked familiar, actually, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I really did. I thought she looked familiar, but I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like, why would she? I mean, this is some random broad that knows this guy's family.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't think any more of it.
Set it up like that.
That explains it.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about Ben is, do you think he really was in love?
No,
me neither. I think you just caught him in the moment.
I think he let that broad talk him into it.
I think so too. Because he was like, I don't know. And she's like, you love her. It was so high school. It was like, you like her. And he's like, oh my God, I do. Like, as someone described it as like, it was a romantic comedy moment where he's like, this is love.
You should totally write her a note that says like, will you marry me, with a box that says yes, a box that says no, check one, and then like pass it back to me.
And I think that's why he didn't say it. Like, I think once he got a chance to say it to Tayshia, I think he realized, like, or maybe he didn't realize it, but I think subconsciously he just wasn't ready to tell her that he loved her. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think there's something, because you always see that every hometown, there's always the people that are like, I need to tell him that I'm falling in love, or tell her that I'm in love. And then they stop themselves. And they're the people that get sent home right before they tell them. It's their gut telling them, like, don't say it. Don't do it.
Well, And there's another thing, as far as the reality thing, and if they want something real. If I were on there, dude, I would very, very likely be keeping around the people who were not telling me that they were falling in love with me and shit. Because to me, that's a red flag. It's because, like I've said on here before, I just met you, dude. I don't know anything about you, and you're telling me that you're falling in love with me.
There's so
I'm
many
sorry.
different steps,
No, you
though.
gotta go.
I could see myself falling in love with you. I'm falling in love with you. I'm in love with the idea of loving you.
It's all
I
ridiculous.
love you. It's like 4 different steps.
It's all stupid.
Yeah, so bye, Ben. Anything else about Ben?
No.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Good luck going forward, Ben. Take this time. Don't let the fame go to your head. Take this time to really reflect. If you're ready for a I'm kind of worried about this guy.
Yeah, and with your newfound fame, man, be sure to wear a raincoat because it can get messy out there.
Oh God. Do you think he's going to show back up on this season?
Probably. If all the chicks are fawning over him like you say they are, they're not going to let him go from the franchise. They're going to
do you think he's going to show up next week? Like on this episode?
You mean back?
Because they ended it with like, maybe she didn't know I loved her, and that's why she sent me home. Like they ended it setting it up that he's going to show up and be like, Tayshia, I love you, and she's still going to send him home.
Well, I don't know. He is the one who needs the validation so desperately. So he might.
That's true.
He might. I hope
because he's the one that keeps showing up.
Back.
He's the one that has constantly said like, I'm showing up. He's done these big gestures of showing up for her. He's definitely coming back next week. It's going to be the beginning of the episode. They're going to start fantasy suites. There's going to be a knock on the door, and it's going to be Ben, and he's going to be like, I hate the idea that I left without telling you that I love you. It's going to be this whole thing. Calling it now. Or they're going to cut it out. But I bet that's what happened. Because that happens like once a season. People will show back up. If they have plans for that person, they're not going to include it. But we'll see.
I hope not.
I hope not either, but it's going to happen.
I'm just ready to be done with him.
Let's talk about, we kind of talked about Brendan's hometown. We'll jump back to the beginning. It was cute.
Yeah.
I don't know where these people live. They didn't say.
Yeah.
He's from Connecticut, I think he said. It was cute. It was a little fair. His niece was there. I don't know why his niece was there, but it was cute. It was sweet. Again, I just think they have the best chemistry. I really liked his talk. I like that we got to see different people instead of just parents, just seeing them interact with parents and then slightly brothers and sisters. Like I really liked, Brendan said that his dad passed away a couple years ago. So his brother is really his father figure. And I just thought their talk was so, I don't know, I was getting emotional. The whole time I'm thinking like Jay's probably not getting emotional, but I was like tearing up. Like he's talking to him like, I see the way you are with your kids, and that's what I aspire to be like. And I was just like, this is beautiful. I love that.
Nice. It was nice.
I love that, like this, especially seeing it because you don't see a lot from like the men. Like I like seeing them kind of get vulnerable with the people in their lives because you know that it's hard to like sometimes like open up and be like, hey, I really appreciate what you've done. Sorry. I really appreciate like Tayshia looks like a grown-ass woman.
What are you talking about, girl? Tayshia looks like a grown-ass woman taking her little brother on a date with Brendan.
You mean Brendan was the little brother? Like she was like, yeah, I can see that. Okay.
And then the niece was the youngest sister.
I can definitely see that. I feel like in Brendan and Tayshia's relationship, Tayshia wears the pants in the relationship. I feel like Tayshia's a really headstrong, like outgoing, outspoken woman, and I think Brendan's a little bit more like relaxed and calm, like the complete opposite, honestly. And I think that's good. I think that might be good in a relationship. Maybe that's what she needs, is that like balance. I think the opposite is her and Zach, where I feel like Zach seems to be more outgoing, outspoken, kinds of seem to be a little bit more her personality.
Right.
Does that make sense? Where, yeah, I can definitely see that with Brendan, where yeah. And now that you said that, I definitely get that. Where with Zach, it does feel kind of more like.
Yeah, but like Paul Abdul said, about how opposites attract and stuff like that. I think it was Paul Abdul. Her or Janet Jackson, one of them two broads.
One of them. Anything else about Brendan and his date?
No, I'm ready to talk about
like
Zach's brother. He was awesome. I liked him.
Oh, okay. Zach's date. Zach is from Haddingfield, New Jersey, but he keeps saying that he's from New York. So I guess he's from New York. He's from like the very tip of New York or New Jersey, whatever. So they were like hailing taxis, which I thought was kind of cute and kind of cheesy. And they're like going around to different dates. Okay, they ate bagels, which I was like, that's a big New Jersey, New York thing. Then he was like, my favorite part, have you ever had a New York style or New York pizza? And I'm like, bro, that pizza is not from New York. That pizza is from the bakery or whatever, the kitchen. Like, are you kidding me?
It's from a local California place that does New York style pizza. New York style.
Yeah, the only thing that's New York is that it's thin. Like, there's nothing else New York about that pizza. But I thought it was cute. I thought all the dates were actually really cute. Yeah, Zach's mom and dad were there and older brother. I liked all the parents. I'll just say that I liked all of the parents. And I guess
his dad was awesome. I liked his dad.
Yeah, his dad was so cute and so sweet. And his mom was really cute. Like, they just seemed very like overwhelmed by everything that was happening. But I noticed that with this round of parents, I guess with like all the men being kind of older and being a little bit more set in their careers, there wasn't so much the question of like, I don't know if my child is really ready for this. Like, like what you get, I think back to Peter's season where like none of those girls, because they're all like 24, my age, when they're younger, the parents are like, I don't know if they're really ready for this, where I feel like a lot of these men, they're all older, they all have set careers. I like that it changes from that narrative of like, I don't know if they're ready, to just being like, oh, I can see them with this person. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt, I don't know, it felt like there was a little bit of a difference in the conversations that they were having. And I really liked that.
I'm still waiting for a father to have, it would have to be on a Bachelorette with like, where the girl is the one that the guys are going for. So Bachelorette situation, not Bachelor. But I'm waiting for one of the fathers of one of the guys on the hometown to have a really good sense of humor. And when he's talking to the girl one-on-one, he starts asking her like he takes the role, he approaches it like the girls' fathers do when they talk to the bachelor. Like stuff like, so Tayshia, my son Zach, blah blah blah. How do you plan on supporting him? Stuff like I said.
Ask my permission to marry him, or
but I would love to see a dad do that, like just to mess with the chick. And so I just want to make sure you're good for my son. I'm very protective of my son, and but that would be great. But anyway.
How did you feel about Zach's brother? You said you wanted to say.
Oh, dude, he's just awesome. I liked that he was asking questions that mattered and were legit. And when she didn't answer it, he immediately was like, "You didn't answer the question."
Yeah.
I love that, because I can't stand when people try to side jump questions and shit, man. Dude, if you're asked a question, either don't answer it or tell the truth. That's all there is to it. But if you're not going to answer the actual question, then just say, I'm sorry, but I'm not comfortable talking about that, or whatever it is. But don't give some stupid politician non-answer answer. That's bullshit.
She said that she's falling in love with him.
What's that?
Like, she said, because he said, how do you feel? Do you feel different for Zach than you feel for any of the other men, or something like that? And she was like, well, I'm falling in love with Zach. He is right. She didn't answer the question. She didn't say like, he's the only one I'm falling in love with. I'm only falling in love with Zach. But she did say like, I'm falling in love with him. I don't know.
Well,
I guess you're right.
That's, like I said, that's a politician answer. It's giving a non-answer answer. You didn't answer the actual question that was asked, but you gave some fluffy bullshit, hoping to avoid and divert from that question. I just don't like that. And he's good, and he picked up on that, and he wasn't going to let it slide, and he called her on it, and I like that.
Yeah, they're cute. The family was cute. Again, Zach was like, they kept saying how happy he was, and he was smiling. I'm going back and forth between Brendan and Zach. I could honestly see her with either of them. I wouldn't be surprised if she, like, I'm not going to be upset if she picks one over the other, I guess. I don't know. And then let's just finally move on to our last one, was Ivan, who the whole episode I thought was going, oh.
I like Ivan.
I like Ivan too. Ivan, I think, is my favorite. And I see people now are like, I want Ivan to be our bachelor. He should have been our bachelor.
Yes.
That kind of jumped the gun with the.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I would love to see him as a future bachelor.
I would have loved to see him. Hopefully, we'll see him as a bachelor, because I just think he carries himself so well. He's so thoughtful. He's so sweet. And Caitlin did say, I feel like he's a bestie. I agree. I definitely feel like friendship vibes. I feel like she's very comfortable with him. I feel like now, thinking about it, if things didn't end so well, I think if things ended better with Zach, Ivan definitely would have went home. But I think because Tayshia probably just knew with Ben, that I think that's why Ivan stayed. I still think Ivan's going home next week.
Yeah, I do too. I think, though, it's clear at this point that she has a type, and that type is like Ben. A frat boy, like a frat bro. Because I mean, John Paul Jones, Zach, all these guys that she's into, like, they're like frat bros and shit, man.
Yeah, very broy. But John Paul Jones is from like Connecticut or something. They're all like the East Coast, baby, because Brendan and Zach are from the East Coast.
Midwest is the best.
East side, what's okay? Yes, I met Ben. If it didn't go sour with Ben, I think Ivan would have been the one to go home.
I agree.
But I loved their date. They just cooked. It was so thoughtful, in the sense that it was different than the other men, where the other men were kind of showing off, like, this is what I do in my hometown and stuff. And I like that he was like, this is what I do with my family. Like, we cook Philippine, is that right? Filipino, yes, I'm so sorry. Food, and he showed the video of his niece cooking the recipe, which was so cute. I'm a sucker for kids. It was so precious. And like Tayshia even said, like, her face lit up when they were doing it, and she was like, I love cooking. Like, I love this. This is my ideal date. And she has said multiple times she loves just kicking it at home, like cooking and stuff. And it showed that, like, Ivan listens to her, listened to like what she likes, brought it back. And yeah, I feel like Ivan is a really good boyfriend. Like, he listens, he's sweet, he gives like, he just seems like he plans these fun dates. Like, make him the bachelor. Like, he's so cute. Like, and his family is so cute. His mom and dad were there. His mom was adorable, and I really liked his dad. He said that his dad, like, had cancer twice, had a heart attack, had some kind of, I think it was an something else going on, where like he could catch, if he caught COVID, it could be really dire for him. And but they still were there. I don't know. I really like that family. Also, I kind of figured the brother was going to show up because they kept hinting at it so much.
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to show up. But I loved when he showed up and Ivan wasn't paying attention, and Tayshia like lit up, and she like grabbed his face.
Puts her hand on his chin and like guides his head over to look at him. That was sweet.
His reaction was so cute.
Dude, she better pick Ivan. Ivan is the one. Even though I'm with you, I don't think that
I think he'd be the best.
I do too. I want him to win. I think out of those guys, he's
ready.
Solid pick.
Yeah, I really think, like, I love him. And like, I love the brother, I think his name was Gabriel. I love how they were talking about how Ivan was saying, like, I want kids or whatever. And Gabe said to Tayshia, like, yeah, he's like a second father to my daughter or something like that. And it wasn't like this, I don't know. Like, their relationship was great too. And it was just a really cool opportunity to see, like, I don't think we've ever had someone with his past on the show before with like all the tattoo. Like it was cool. Like it just felt very like normal family, your typical, you know what I mean? Like it just
they didn't try to they didn't treat him like the black sheep of the family. They were like, this is my brother. He's been through a lot of shit.
Family. We love each other.
We're family. We love each other. We support each other. And that was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't feel like Ivan was like embarrassed of his brother's past. Like I feel like it might be easy. I feel like, I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people might kind of carry that as like a shame. And I feel like Ivan and his family does it. And I think that's beautiful. And even he said, like, I think the brother said, like, yeah, he cares about people. He doesn't leave people behind. He's compassionate. Like, he was like, he cares for me. And I don't know. I just thought it was beautiful. Like
it was. Yeah.
I can't. I want Ivan to be the Bachelor. Like he's just great family, great story, like insane. The brother was great and the little girl was so cute. I wish she was there, but I get it. Like, yeah, it was great.
They could pull off something where they had like 2 bachelors and 23 girls, and like the 2 dudes were like they were dating and you know what I mean? That would be very interesting dynamic.
I don't know if at the same time it was both bachelors.
Yeah, like the same 23 chicks and 2 bachelors.
I mean, why not? Cool.
Dude, that would be very, very interesting. Because you know the 2 bachelors, like, would there be heat between them because they both like the same girl? And what about the girls? And they're trying to figure out do they like either of them? And if they like them both, which one do they like more?
Yeah.
And what if they're both wooing the same girl? You know, what if in all the drama and like the other girl?
How did they do rose ceremonies?
That like both of the dudes like her, but not her. You know what I mean? And it's like, why do they both like you and nobody likes me, bitch?
Yeah,
and shit like
that'd
that.
be great.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Let's produce it. Let's start it.
I'm down.
But yeah, we loved Ivan. We stand. I'm glad we get to see Ivan again. I think he's my favorite to come out of this. So who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe Tayshia's going to be really into him. I don't think so, but who knows?
She's into the frat bros, man. I'm telling you, that's obvious by now.
I don't think Brendan's a frat bro, though.
He's got that look, though. He's got that style.
True.
He's got that.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So next week is the finale. Can you believe it? Of this long season. We are getting again
on Monday, or is it on Monday and Tuesday?
Monday and Tuesday. Once again, I believe Monday is going to be the fantasy suites, and then Tuesday will be the end, the finale, the final 2. If she gets engaged, I don't know. We'll see. They're kind of playing it up that she's not going to get engaged, so we'll see. But we will tentatively, I can't say it. We will probably be here Wednesday. I will tweet on the Go Get That Rose. If we're not, I'm traveling home this weekend. Very safe traveling home, driving, all that stuff. We're going to visit some family that we haven't seen for a year. And so we will see. Christmas is next week. So excited. And anyway, J Wade, until then, where can the people find you, follow you?
You can find me and follow me at JWade1134. That is the letter J, WADE 1134. You can see on my bio the other shows I do there, and I've just started a new Schmodown show called Speaking of Schmodown that premiered last Saturday. So if you are a movie trivia Schmodown fan, check that out on the JCast network.
Sounds great. You can follow me on Twitter at SCBock, SSEABOCK. You can follow this show on Twitter at the Go Get That Rose, same name, same everything. And you can follow Merc with a movie blog at Movieblog Merc, also on Twitter. And you can find more shows on the Merc with a Movie blog feed, podcast feed, anywhere you find podcasts, and on the YouTube under the same name. It's so easy. And we will see you next week to cover 2 of the last episodes. Take a break, and then we'll be back for The Bachelor. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you then. Bye.